Hi guys. So this is going to be a little bit of a different videos. Y'all it's not like a prank video. I'm not going to be messing with Hunter in any way. This is more of like on the serious side. I've already discussed with Hunter what the video is going to be about. It's basically just going to be a little bit of an interview. I haven't told him what questions I'm going to be asking him, but I have told him the topic. So he's slightly prepared. He knows why I want to make this video, which the topic of this is going to be about the grief and loss that we experienced as a family several years ago when my youngest son and Hunter's little brother passed away unexpectedly. And, we've worked with therapists, counselors, pastors, ministries, all sorts of different kinds of people while working through those emotions. But Hunter was so young when it happened. When Blakey died, he was 4. Hunter was. Blakey was 2.5. And at that time, a 4-year-old isn't able to process emotions that are that big. And so Hunter's, 10 now and some change. And I think that I can ask him these questions and really get a feel, because he is still a kid, but he's very mature, and really get a feel of how it affected him at that time. So are you good with this, Hunter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my first question to you is, I want you to tell me about your relationship with Blakey. What was it like?
So, when we were young, like at night, like we slept together, we had our own room. Like at night, like we used to go into the closet and, we like to mess up in the closet, like mess with the shoe, like break it down, like, how do I explain?
You messed up the closet really bad.
Messed up the closet really bad.
So was it like
knock down all the shoes?
Was it like brothers? Was it like best friends? Was it both? Like, It was both.
Mm-hmm.
So was there moments where he like got on your nerves and like, cause you were the big brother, or was it like best friends where y'all just enjoyed every minute together?
Well, I can't really put my finger on it because I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really remember like any like bad times really, except for I like put soap in his eyes when we were in the shower.
Really?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite memory with Blakey?
Probably the first thing I told you, messing up the closet.
Yeah.
Because that was like the most funnest thing we had together.
Do you think that's your favorite memory? Because that's one of the things that you can remember clearly.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. You just like, when you think about him, that's the first memory that pops into your head?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, more heavy. What do you remember about the day that he died?
What do you mean?
What do you remember about that day?
Oh, okay. I know this pretty well. So, I think I was at my neighbor's house, and like, I was not expecting this to happen. Like, I was having fun at my neighbor's house and stuff, and then my parents came, and they walked over because like they live right across the street, and Blakey wasn't with them, so I'm like, where's Blake at? And they're like, I'll tell you when I get home. And then we get home and they tell us, and I'm like, is this a prank? Is this a prank? Is he like hiding somewhere? Where is he at? And then they're like, no, it's not a prank. And then I eventually believe it, and then it's really sad.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell them what I remember about that moment?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. So, when Blakey passed away, or we hadn't found out at that point, we were still clinging on to hope that he was going to make it. But I had asked my best friend at the time, who was our neighbor, to pick you up and take you back to her house because I needed to know that you were safe while I was dealing with everything there. And so, of course, we get to the hospital. Blakey passes. He had already passed, but they called it. They made it official that he had died. And we spent some time with him. We held him. We loved him. And then we had to get in the car and leave so we could come get you and bring you back home. And I walked over there and we knocked on the door and you came up to us, and you remember that correctly. Me and Daddy were walking back to our house, and Daddy was holding you. And you said, "Where's Blakey?" And Daddy didn't know what to say, so I said to you, "We'll tell you when we get home." And then you said it again, and I said, "We'll tell you when we get inside." And so when we got inside, we put you down on the couch, and I was going to try to be really strong and tell you with like a little bit of strength in me, but he had just died, and so I didn't have any strength left, and so I was crying and Dad was crying, and we told you, and
I was like, I never seen Dad cry before because he never really cries.
Yeah, right. That was the hardest day of our lives for sure, but watching you hurt, because you didn't really understand what died meant. Whenever we would say died, we were like referring to like our cell phone or our iPad. Like, oh, we need to go charge it. It died. So I don't think in that moment when you were 4, you understood that Blake had died and that he was never going to come back.
Yeah.
So how did Mommy and Daddy's sadness about Blakey affect you growing up?
Like when you guys were like sad?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's like the other way around. When I'm like sad about it, like my parents like cry with me. But I feel like this like pain inside when you guys feel really sad because it makes me feel really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to see you sad because I never see you sad. You're always happy and joyful, so it kind of hurts me a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
But is it something growing up, and I don't mean like as 10-year-old mature Hunter, I mean like say 5-year-old Hunter. Is it something that you were able to understand or no?
Not really.
You didn't understand me and Dad being as sad as we were?
No. Well.
What about now? Can you see it now, or is it still hard to like understand?
I think I could see it now.
Yeah.
Because he was literally your child that you raised for 2 years, but then he died. I can understand why that's really sad because you want him to have a great future, but like it's really sad when they just die out of nowhere, and it's just really painful to the heart.
Yeah. So what is something that you wish that you could say to Blake if he was here today?
I would probably say, it's been a while. I really miss you. I love you so much. I really hope you're having a really good time in heaven. I love you so much. I'll see you when I die and when I go up there with you.
Okay, just a few left. I'm not going to make you do this forever.
Okay.
So how did losing your brother affect your relationship with God?
Okay. So sometimes, like, I get really emotional, and sometimes I get kind of mad at God for doing that. Like, I don't like get the reason why he did that, but sometimes that's just life, you know. It's just life. Like God still loves you, so we gotta love Him too. Like sometimes, like you're going to die. Like if He didn't love you, He wouldn't even create you. So you gotta at least be really grateful for that.
Mm-hmm. So when you say, well, that's just life, I get what you're saying. Like, life means that we love people and they're born, and then they die the way at the right time that God intended them to die, right? Because He knows our minutes. But when you say that's just life, you do understand that your life has been different than like most of the kids that you go to school with because you experienced such a hard thing so young, you know? So, yeah, that's like birth and death are a part of life, but dying at 2.5 isn't just life, you know? It's like that's something really, really hard that happened to both you and me and Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did it feel after Blake died and we got pregnant and brought home Lily?
Well, honestly, I didn't really think about that.
Yeah.
I was just really happy of having a sister.
Really? Do you still feel that way?
Kind of.
Some of the time?
Yeah, because she was like kind of easy in the beginning, but now she's just mean.
She's psycho.
Yeah, she's so psycho.
So you didn't really associate Lily coming so soon after Blakey died with any kind of emotion?
Yeah. But like, I was still young.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 5 years old. I was in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
So, still, I was really young. I didn't really get it that much.
Yeah. But now that it's 5 years later, are you happy Lily's here?
Yeah. Because it brings some loudness to the house and some entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay, last question. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. I wrote, finally, what would you say to another kid who is experiencing the death of someone that they love?
That's a tough one. I need a minute to think about this one.
Okay. So, okay, let me reword it like this. You're 10-year-old Hunter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretend like you were talking to 4-year-old Hunter who had just lost his best friend and his little brother. What would you say to yourself at 4 years old?
Like saying it to myself?
Yeah, like pretend 4-year-old Hunter is sitting beside you and he needed your advice over Blakey just dying and he's hurting. What would be the advice you would tell him?
It's so hard to answer.
Yeah. You don't have to think about it too hard. Just
some of these things are really relatable to other families, but sometimes you just gotta stay strong and just power through it and it'll be okay.
that's what you would tell to Hunter?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's pretty good. So, Thank you for talking to me about your experience with grief in our family and how, how you've grown through that, how we've grown through it as a family. I think that when other families who have dealt with pain like this watch this, they can know that there is healing. And I think that as a family, we can agree that the only healing that's really found is through Jesus, because, when Blake just died, back in 2018, I remember saying to myself after reading an article about healing from this sort of grief, I said, there is no healing in this. There's absolutely no healing. I will never be healed. It doesn't mean that the scar from the wound is not still there, that me, Hunter, Matt, don't carry around Blakey with us everywhere we go and with every decision we make, and we talk about him as if he's still a part of our family. But our hearts have experienced healing through the grace of God. And I've watched Hunter grow up with that and become the most incredible kid that I think is attributed to the fact that he had to grow up so quick and learn such big, hard, sad lessons so early. But anyways, that was all the questions I had. How do you want to wrap it up?
If something like this happens to you, I just want to let you know it's going to be okay. It's not over. It's just going to be okay. Just power through it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen to everybody. It's going to happen later all through life. But I just want to let you know, just power through it. It's going to be all right.
There you go. Wise words.